I'm going to draw our favorite green fluffy, Lucky! I will explain everything as I go so you can follow along. Without further ado, let's begin! Just like in the previous videos, I start with a circle to get a good base for the face. I even adjust it to be as accurate as possible. Then we draw the lines going out of the circle and curving up. They will make Lucky's fluffy cheeks. We make another curve under the first one on both sides and connect them. If you notice, this is exactly how we started our pinky drawing in the previous video. All fluffies have the same head shape, so if you learn to draw one, you'll be able to draw all the others. After that, use an eraser to remove unnecessary lines. Next, we draw an oval shape, that is the nose. Try to center it when you're drawing it, but if you feel like I did here, you can use the selection tool and move it where you want. Then we draw a cat mouth that looks like a fallen number 3. Next, we can move on to the eyes. Fluffy eyes have a bit of a complicated shape, but I'll try to explain it. Start with the top line of the eye. It starts in the bottom corner and ends in the top corner. The line is curved like an arch. Then draw a line going down from the top right corner. It's also curved, but not by much. And then you can connect the bottom corners with another line that's almost straight, just has rounded corners. When you have that, you can adjust even more, but the basic shape is already down. When you're happy with the shape, you can add the darker lash line and lashes. Next, we can add the iris and pupil, which are just big circles inside the eye. And then we can add the highlights, which I thought would look very cute as little clover-like shapes. After that, we can copy-paste and flip the eye to have 2. And then fix the highlights so both are reflecting light in the same direction. Now we can mark the light fur patterns around the nose, eyes, and cheeks. Above those, we can draw the eyebrows. Next, let's give Lucky some ears. Lucky's ears are different from Pinky's. They're not triangle-shaped cat ears, but more rounded. Kind of like one piece of a clover, but less symmetrical. Imagine 2 bubbles overlapping and we just trace around them. When we have that shape, we can add some fur fluffs and draw the inside. Then, as always, duplicate what we have to make the other ear. The last thing missing is Lucky's most important feature, the clover growing on her forehead. The clover is made out of 4 parts that look like hearts, but at the bottom, instead of closing the heart shape, it stays open and connects to the next leaf. When we have the 4-leaf clover drawn, we can connect it to the forehead by drawing the stem. Because I drew the clover on a new layer, I can drag it around and adjust it to my liking. Finally, I can erase the lines under the clover, and the head is finished. Moving on to the body. It's shaped kind of like a teardrop, but the top part of it would be hidden under the head. Next, we can give Lucky arms. They follow the same curve as the body and end a little bit above the bottom of the body. Then we can draw 3 cute little fingers and a mark where the light fur of the hand is. Then copy and paste. To add a leg, I just draw 1 slightly diagonal line coming from the side and 1 straight line from the middle. I connect them with an oval shape making the foot and draw 3 fluffy toes and the line marking the foot. Then copy paste again. All that's missing is the clover mark on the belly, so I draw it the same way I drew the one on the head. Looking at the whole drawing, I decided that Lucky's head looks a bit too stretched out vertically, so I selected and smushed it down to fit with the rest of the drawn body. After that step, the sketch is done. Then I add a new layer, lower the opacity of the sketch, pick a dark green brush color, and start carefully tracing the sketch line. If you're tracing with an ink pen on paper, just take this step very slowly and carefully. In digital art, we can increase the stabilization of the pen. It makes the lines less wobbly, but even then we need to be slow, careful, and deliberate. There's not much else to say about this step, so I will speed up the video and see you when the line art is done. Hello! As you can see, the line art is all traced, so we can move on to coloring. Let's pick a pretty light green color and fill in Lucky's fur. To start coloring the eyes, I fill them in with white. For the nose, I pick a very dark brown color and fill it. Same with the pupils. I also add some shine to the nose. Using purple, I fill in the irises. Then I turn on the alpha lock feature on the purple layer and paint in some pink, orange, and yellow. For a more detailed explanation on alpha lock, watch the video where I draw Pinky. I copy the colored iris layer and drag it in place for the other eye. Then I take the sketch layer and put it above the color layers so I can see the lines for the highlights and later the fur pattern. Using white, I draw the highlights and duplicate them. Then I draw white smushed circles and lower the opacity for the shininess effect. Using a very light green, I trace and fill in the light fur where it needs to be. With a slightly darker but still light green, I draw the shadows in the ears and on the chin, hands, and feet. Next, I turn off the sketch layer and all that's left is to fill in the eyebrows and the clover with a green that's a bit darker and more saturated than the fur. At the end, I decided to add some white sparkles on Lucky's head clover. And then I draw clovers all around the background. With that, Lucky is done! Everyone who followed along, wonderful job! Can't wait to do this again with you guys! Like and subscribe if you like drawing with me! Also, if you want to send a drawing for us to see, here's how you do it. Take a photo, then use your email or ask your parents to email it for you. Attach the photo and send it to plushies@tototunes.com. You can even write us a message. We read and see all of them, but some drawings even end up on Midnight's show, which happens every last Sunday of the month. Okay, it's been super fun drawing with you. See you next time.